Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, Cashman draws blood, making a move at third base, which we knew was going to happen, and getting Ryan McMahon, the lefty hitter from the Colorado Rockies. And again, he was kind of one of the names that has been mentioned over the past couple of weeks, and even in the past, even a couple of seasons for the Yankees, finally making the move for a pair of minor league pitchers. So overall for the Yankees, I'll say it's an okay move. Again, I wasn't loving Ryan McMahon. If you even go to the latest YouTube episode, I kind of looked at his numbers there, and again, just a lot of low batting average and with the strikeouts. Again, I wasn't loving the idea of bringing him in compared to some other options, but that being said, compared to what the Yankees had to give up for him, not really a terrible deal. So I will give this a check mark for Cashman on this deal. So we'll kind of break down the trade, what the Yankees are getting, kind of take a closer look at McMahon's numbers if you're not too familiar with them. Obviously playing with the Colorado Rockies. I'm not sure how many New Yorkers are really tuned into Colorado Rocky games. But nevertheless, we'll give you the tail tape of him as well as the pitches the Yankees shipped out there. Just in case you worry, the Yankees gave up the next Greg Maddux or Tom Glavine. Probably not, but nevertheless, we'll go over their numbers as well. So before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this podcast, Section 420 Talkin Yankees, the podcast, wherever you get your favorite podcast. And as also, as mentioned before, the YouTube version of the show. Subscribe there as well. And again, there's probably be from between now and Thursday, there's probably be a number of different deals going down. So you want to get instant reactions by me, get my takes, get the lowdown, make sure you subscribe to this audio podcast version of Section 420 Talkin Yankees, the podcast. So yeah, in the previous episode, YouTube episode, I kind of broke down, obviously, the two main names, of course, was Suarez from the Diamondbacks. So would you guess that would be your ideal trade for a third baseman if you could make it? But of course, a guy like that you bring to your lineup instantly. I mean, he's a 35 home run guy right now. They're going to ask for a lot, and probably the Diamondbacks wanted probably too much. So you kind of have to look at some other options, and I did throw in Ryan McMahon as a possibility. I didn't love the idea of bringing him in, and I also threw in kind of another name I saw floating around there, something like Ahmad Rosario, the former Met, who is probably, obviously, doesn't wow you with his numbers, but, in terms of what you'd have to give up to get him, not that much there. So I thought something like that I thought would be more the move that Cashman makes, but Cashman did one tick up better than that. Obviously, between McMahon and Rosario, yeah, of course, maybe just because of the power, the home run power, you'd rather have McMahon, even though he has the lower batting average. So overall, again, I would say this is a decent, good move for the Yankees. You knew they had to make an upgrade. You just can't go the rest of the way with Peraza there. I mean, yeah, is he a decent enough glove? Okay, but he offensively gives you nothing. And third base is a position where you need to get some offense from. You can't just have someone like hitting below 200, and obviously someone like, Vivas, same thing. He's a nice singles hitter once in a while, bop that, but again, if you're a serious post-season contending team, you got to have a legitimate, everyday type of third baseman who can not only play good defense, but also give you some pop as well there. So Yankees kind of check off those boxes with this moves for McMahon. So McMahon, obviously not familiar with him right now. The batting average is why I was concerned of getting him here. I mean, last thing we need with the Yankees, another swing and miss guy. We've had those guys over the past couple of years, like Joey Gallo, Josh Donaldson. So you are rolling the dice a little bit, but nevertheless, hitting .217 with the 16 home runs, that catches your attention, and 35 RBIs. But again, the reason I had some hesitancy over is the strikeouts. And right now in 100 games, 127 strikeouts in 100 games. So this guy averaging about a strikeout or two per game. It's going to drive fans nuts. There's going to be situations where, a runner on third base, all he needs is a sac fly, something like that, and this guy's going to swing and whiff. And I can see the frustration now, but nevertheless, you had to make an upgrade to third base. And, guess on whatever they want for Suarez, probably unreasonable. So Cashman bringing McMahon in here. Now you look at his defense at third base. Only has 3 errors, so, decent glove. I also documented Volpe's problems already, at shortstop with, 13 errors there. So the last thing the Yankees need is someone on that left side of the field is also going to be bobbing the ball around. So it looks like McMahon pretty steady there with the glove, so you'd like to see that. And he has been, even though he's, hitting only .217, he has been a little bit better of late, hitting better of late over the past 6 weeks. Now this is since June 7th in 39 games. He's had 10 home runs with an OPS of .820. So even though his numbers are a little laggy right now, at least over the last 6 weeks, and I didn't really cover that in the YouTube episode, he has been, hitting a hotter bat. Again, 10 of the 16 home runs he's had is just over the last 39 games there. So maybe he's just heating up for this coming August and September there. So if you get him on the upswing, he's got him on the upswing in his offensive production, that would be a good move for Cashman. Now for the Yankees, what they're sending out is 2 pitching prospects. One is Griffin Herring, who between 2 levels of minor league ball, 16 starts, pitching to a very, very low ERA, 1.71, and he's a lefty, so you don't really like to give those guys away, but it's the minors. Again, you don't know how these guys are going to pan out once they get to the majors. And of another righty there from single A ball, Josh Graz, pitched in 16 games. Now in 16 games, he started 15 of them, and pitching to an ERA of 4.14 in A ball, single A ball. So you're pitching to an ERA of 4.14 over 4 in A ball. You're not really, again, maybe some other things that Colorado saw and they want him, so I guess whatever, the Yankees. So you don't really like giving up too much there. No key prospects, even like someone like Jason Dominguez, who maybe his stock is down a little bit. You're not really parting ways with him as well. So again, compared to what you have to give up, I would say it's a good move by Cashman and McMahon. Another thing like about him, he's under control for a couple seasons. So he's not a free agent until 2028, so you got him for the rest of this season, all 2026, and all 2027. He's he's under contract. He'll be making $16 million per year. So again, for a third baseman, it's not terrible. It's not a crazy type of contract there. And, put him in the Yankee lineup, obviously a little vigor. Obviously, he's going to be now in the postseason hunt. The Yankees are right now in second place in the AL East there. But you put him in a more excitable situation than the Colorado Rockies, who are pretty much down there in the dumps with the Marlins and the Chicago White Sox as miserable places to play. So you also got to take that into account when you have someone's numbers are down, batting average is down. I mean, you put him in a hot situation with, guys like, Judge and Giancarlo Stanton and, Ben Rice and Paul Goldschmidt. And, you're playing for the AL East title and you're the Yankees and all that stuff. So maybe just the atmosphere and everything else, rises McMahon's numbers up and his production up. So, I think you could look forward to that as well. I mean, you still be a little hesitant as someone in Colorado. Obviously, it's a hitter's ballpark, so if he's playing half his games in Colorado and only hit 217, again, got to be a little bit worried about that overall. But I think you'd again put him in a better situation in the Bronx. I think that will help him a little bit. I don't think he'll be a 217 hitter for the Yankees. I'm not gonna say he's going to be like a 250 or 260 hitter, but he'll probably be a little better. Just you put him in a better situation in there in the pinstripes. So again, overall, good move by Cashman. Again, not the ideal guys. Don't like all the strikeouts, but overall, definitely an upgrade. And the Yankees needed to make this move at third base. You knew a third base move was going to be made, so they make this one. Now, as for his jersey number right now, he was 24. I'll say that's the number that Jason Dominguez has right now, so he's going to have to choose a new number. I'm sure they'll figure that out. And this hasn't been confirmed yet, but you could pretty much put it in the bank. I mean, the Yankees put it on their website, so I don't think they put up a rumor. This was broken by Mark Feinstein of the MLB Network, formerly the New York Daily News. So it's pretty much, I guess, you could put this one in your feather in the cap that this move is going to go down there. I guess maybe pending physicals and stuff like that, which, unless there's some bizarre injury or some crazy like that, probably will get approved. So, Cashman, not giving up too much. It's not like this guy has 5 years left on his deal and you owe him another $200 million there, so reasonable contract you got to eat there. Young guy, he's only 30 years old, so he still has a couple more years, you could say, of his prime that you're getting. So, that's a good move to cash in. I'm worried about the strikeouts a little bit, the below batting average and the swings and misses, but maybe, being in the Yankees in a different situation, he might have a bit of a different role, not being like the guy in Colorado, where here you just kind of one of 8 or one of 9 there, where maybe not feeling like you're doing too much there. Maybe you could ease into the role. And we've seen some other players come over here. Like, remember Scott Brocious when he was with the Oakland A's back in '97? Yeah, he had the power, but he was hitting like 2.8, but almost the same thing. I think he was hitting like a 218 or 217. He comes to the Yankees, a different role, a reduced role. They bat him 9th, and the guy hits 300 even and gives the Yankees. I mean, if you look at 1998, that '98 Yankees season, I mean, of all the players, Scott Brocious, one of those guys, you almost call him the MVP. And, of course, had the 2 big home runs in the postseason, one off of Sterling Hitchcock there, and, of course, the big 3-run home run off of Trevor Hoffman there. So, again, that was the guy that was hitting like 218 with the Colorado Rockies when he came here. So, again, maybe there's room for improvement for McMahon. And also, just give a quick follow-up on Luis Gil. He did have his 3rd rehab start in AAA there. He threw 67 pitches. His goal was supposed to be 65, so they stretched him out. Looks like he came through okay. So, after that, we're just going to wait word. He probably would be ready to go up to the major leagues at the next turn yet. I don't know if they've officially made that decision yet. They might give him one more AAA start, which I guess could be okay, but nevertheless, after that, then you guys say this guy's ready to go, because after 67 pitches, what are you looking at? Maybe 75, and, that's kind of like major league level, at least for a start there. So, wouldn't be shocked if his next go-around will be, pitching for the Yankees, whether on the road or in the pinstripes there. So that's the move. Could he be bringing another starter? Maybe, but I definitely count on him bringing another bullpen arm in here. Yankees need that well. It says, and I chronicled this also in the YouTube episode. You want to go back and check this from a day or two ago. Obviously, Loiza's not really effective as the way he was, maybe in 2022. When he was pitching out of the Yankee bullpen before he went down with the Tommy John surgery there. So he can probably make a move, and, Cruz should be back eventually, but you just don't know what shape he's going to be in. Again, on the IL once with a bad shoulder, and then the IL currently with the oblique. So I would expect also Cashman to bring maybe 1, even 2 arms in here as well to, bolster up that bullpen. So we'll stay tuned. So check off the third baseman. Okay, give this a B plus, for Cashman, not an A move, like obviously we'd all want Suarez, but I don't want Suarez at the cost of giving up someone big there. And with Suarez, obviously he's just a 2.5 month rental because he's going to be a free agent after this there. So, those ups and downs about considering Suarez. So McMahon overall, again, I'll give Cashman a good B plus on this one, and didn't have to get too much to get him. So McMahon's a Yankee, and we'll see what the next moves are. Catch you later. you.